Kia ora North New Zealand Youth, it's Matt Moore here, and welcome to day 4 of our Youth Week of Prayer, and welcome to my very messy office. Today we talk about stewardship in regards to our local church. Throughout this journey we've been talking about how we are the church, and that we've been given this mission to go out and to share the gospel and make disciples. And in doing that, there's some things that God asks of us and requires of us. And in particular, when it comes to stewardship, often people turn their attention to the moolah, to the money. And although that's one part of stewardship and an important part, it is everything that God is calling for us to give. It's really a sacrifice of our own possessions, our own giftings, our talents, and that includes our money as well. And I think it's a really important thing that God doesn't ask or require of us a particular amount. I like the fact that God talks about percentages when it comes to, for example, money anyway, that he's calling us to tithe our money, our best, our first fruits, our best, and give it back to him. But the question remains is, does God actually need our money? And I think that's, after reading the readings, the thing that I was contemplating was the fact that God really doesn't need our money. He is the King of the universe, the Creator. Everything around us, as the reading suggests, everything, the air that we breathe, the lakes, the streams, the rivers, the mountains, they are all his. All the cattle, all the animals, everything are his. We are his. We owe everything to him because he is our Creator. And I think sometimes it becomes a mentality to think, oh, we've got to give things back to God. It's not because he needs it. He's God, he doesn't need anything from us. But what he realizes that these things we hang on to a bit too tightly sometimes. Money is a big one, and that's why money is so spoken about so often in the scriptures, is that God doesn't want us to hold on to our money so tight, that he asks us to give just a portion of what really is his back to him, and that is 10% in the tithing, and then also free will offerings as well. And I guess it's important to realize in our own minds that it is already God's. And all he's wanting us to do, though, is make sure that these things that we sometimes hold too dear, that we're willing to let go of, because he's in control and he is the giver of all good things. So I guess that's the challenge for today. Whether it's with your money, or whether it's with your time, or whether it's with your talents, that we sit back and have a really good think about, how can we be good stewards of the things that God has already blessed us with? How can we give to the local church, his church, ecclesia? May we be called out and be able to give, yes, our talent, our time, our giftings that God has already bestowed upon us, and that includes our finances as well. So that's a challenge to us all, about how we are being good stewards of the good things that God has given us. And may, as young people, we be challenged to do that. And one last thing I challenge you to, it wasn't until probably early 20s that I actually knew where this money especially was going when I gave it to the church. And I really encourage you to go and ask the question. If you're not sure where the tithes and offerings go, why don't you go and talk to some of your local leaders in your church and ask them, where does it go and what's it for and what purpose is it? Because when I understood that properly, I was far more willing, I guess is the best word, to go, oh, hey, here is the money, because I knew what it was going into. Ultimately, when we give it over, we're giving it to God. But to know that we have our Adventist church does so many amazing things around this world, and that you can be a contributor to that with your money as well. So God bless you all as we finish off day 4 of the Youth Week of Prayer. I look forward to day 5 tomorrow, and yeah, I just pray a blessing on all of you as we continue on this journey this week, and how we can just get back to the basics with God. And I guess a final note to recognise is that God has given us his all, and he did that on the cross when he gave his son, and when Jesus gave up his life for each and every one of us. So it is only fitting that we can give not just a portion but all of our lives back to him. God bless you guys, and we'll see you tomorrow.